Sometimes we forget how hungry young people are for the arts. I always recall my first week of high school with DreamYard. I showed up a couple of days early because I was really nervous and I wanted to see what the building looked like. I wanted to familiarize myself with the space, but it also felt like it couldn't be true. A school that integrates the arts in all of its classes felt like it was a dream. It felt like it couldn't be real life.
When I became a teaching artist, what felt really powerful to me was to stand in these classrooms as a Black woman, as an artist, and say, yes, I'm here to teach this acting class, but we're going to look at this acting class through the lens of this social justice curriculum, showing them the ways in which art and your love of history can have this powerful impact on you as a person.
Sometimes how I think about DreamYard is that way, like somebody puts something in front of somebody as they were growing up and it lights some little thing and that thing kindles and that becomes part of that person's power. Creativity in art is problem solving and mastery and the feeling you get of getting better at something and being proud of getting better.
I first became introduced to DreamYard when I was in middle school. Jason and Tim came around offering an after-school program. We started off by creating an online magazine, which was pretty cool because the internet was now becoming something more accessible. And then it branched out into writing poetry and presenting at gallery openings throughout the city, having opportunities to be part of live theater or music performances.
I don't focus on what they don't have. I focus on what they do have. And everybody has the Actors Toolkit. And I go in and teach Actors Toolkit and cue right from the beginning. You have, what do you have? You already have what you need to be an actor. You have a body, you have a voice, you have a facial expressions, and you have your imagination. I tell them, well, what do you think this character would feel if this happened to them? How would you feel if this happened to you? And show us what those feelings look like.
It is extremely important for young people to be around professional artists because it's a look into that world. I think sometimes as young people, we think the world is heavier than it is, right? Sometimes what we believe artistry is what we consume in the media. And we forget that artists are human too. That artists fail and then they get back up. And I think that's very much a part of the process. And I think being in the room with professionals like Aracelis Girmay and Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen, I learned the other side, the humanity side of like being a professional artist.
Acting, drama, theater. I mean, if you think about that, that kind of practice is like a huge practice in empathy, right? Like you literally move into someone else's shoes. You literally occupy someone else's viewpoint. I think that empathy, in a way, has driven, at some level, everything about DreamYard. This is a community. At a community, if you have empathy for a community, you start seeing right away, like, hey, we can't just do this in isolation. It broadens into social justice. It broadens into like how people see themselves, how they see their futures.
It's the same way that you can make change socially, it's the same way you can make change personally. What does it really mean to be an artist? Many people have various different definitions of it. But for me, looking at it through a social justice lens, I see it as being an agent of change.
DreamYard became a sanctuary when I was a young person because I was able to express myself effortlessly. We had a community of other creatives who were also exploring who they were and how they presented themselves to the world and the challenges that they were facing. And DreamYard became that safe space.
I didn't start my teaching artist career at DreamYard. I was at different organizations. I'd be in Staten Island or this place and that place, all over the 5 boroughs. And I was getting a little tired. And I decided I want to work with the Bronx kids. I'm a Bronx kid. I can relate to the Bronx kids. I know a lot about the Bronx. And then I found DreamYard. DreamYard found me. We found each other. And so this has been home to work with the kids who are like me. And yeah, that's why I stay. Because people are like, oh boy, you've been in DreamYard for a long time. Damn straight, because I'm home. I'm home at DreamYard.